Jessie woo, VBS. I just turn the water on. Big old flex. She never saw before. Chasing me like waterfall. Jessie woo.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Just a Couple Things, y'all, with your sister, your host, Jessie Woo. Today's episode is very, very exciting. I'm so excited to talk to both of these people. But before we get into it, I want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to Just a Couple Things on every platform that streams podcasts. Okay, so if you're the Apple people, go down to the Apple Podcast people thingy. Find Just a Couple Things, hit follow. If you're the Spotify people, spot Just a Couple Things, hit follow. And if you're here on YouTube, subscribe so you can see the visualis, okay? All right, without further ado, y'all, we're still talking about Love is Blind, child. And I thought to myself, what an honor it would be to speak to two of the men that I was very excited to see, but I didn't get to see them. I was so excited when the cast picture came out. I said, where all these black people came from? This is Denver. Where they find all this chocolate at? And I saw these two black men that were announced to be on the show. And lo and behold, we didn't behold nothing. We didn't get their story or nothing. So I am so excited to invite to Just a Couple Things, Michael and Dio from season 9, Love is Blind. How are y'all doing?
Amazing. Doing amazing. It's a good day. I want to say thank you so much, Jessie, for this opportunity. We understand your platform means the world to you, and you mean the world to us.
Yeah, same thing here. We really appreciate this.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate y'all. I know that, obviously we didn't see your stories. And I think so oftentimes when we don't see folks' stories, you guys just kind of, okay, well, go on. And you don't really get to say what happened. And I really am just fascinated by you guys. I just feel like there's a story that we didn't get. And I want to go ahead and platform that story. Also, this is a Black women's channel. We always have a Black Women's Month here. And I feel like as Black women, we owe it to Black men to give y'all our ear and to listen to what y'all got to say, especially when it comes to the dating space. So I'm very honored to spend time with both of you. So let's jump right on in. So we got Michael. Michael,
Yes,
you are in medical sales. And I remember seeing you and being very excited because you were in your 40s. And oftentimes we don't get folks that are in their 40s on the show. It tends to kind of really stay in the early 20s, mid 20s, maybe early 30s. And so when I saw you, I was particularly very excited about you because I was like, okay, he's in his 40s. He's definitely looking for marriage. And then Dio, you're 30, you're an IT advisor. I was like, okay, from the name, I said, hold on, my brother is Nigerian. I said his parents are like, where is your wife? Where is my daughter? So I was like, I know he looking for marriage. So can you both just tell me hold on, guys.
It was so funny. She compared me to SK. I'm like, hey, I'm not SK, man. Allow me.
Okay. Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh, damn you. I didn't know you heard that.
No, we're going to get to that. It's so funny because it's true. I was like, okay, are we going to get another SK? He not Jen. Is it going to be another SK? Is it going to be another I do not? What's going on? So looking at the both of you, I was very, very excited to see both of your stories pan out, but we didn't get to see that. So we're going to get to your stories, but why did y'all come on Love is Blind? You're both very good looking men. You're young. What's going on in Denver that y'all are not able to wife somebody up?
That is a great question. Well, honestly, they actually reached out to me to be honest first. I probably wouldn't have applied, I guess, without them reaching out first, because honestly, it's more of the social media kind of aspect of it. That was the part where I was like, pause a little bit because I've seen the show. I've seen since season 1, so I kind of know how people react typically to people on the show. So that gave me a moment's pause, but it was one of those things where I've seen it work historically. I know people say, oh, every season's not really 100% successful, but there have been times where people genuinely find the person they spend the rest of their life with so far. So I was like, I feel like this could be a good chance for me to kind of find that as well. And dating outside didn't really work for me, to be honest. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty good place to start and kind of see how it goes. And again, you're not really forced to do anything. So it's another thing where you could actually just go on, you can have the experience. And if you find your person, you do. If you don't, no harm, no foul.
Okay. What about you, Michael?
I'm 39 years old. I come from a big family. I wanted children and a family immediately. I found out about the show during COVID, fell in love with it then. So I've been watching, like I knew the show. And I always said to myself, what would you do with an opportunity like that? Having such a big heart, I was like, if I get this opportunity, I'm getting married 100% in my mind, because I was like, I'm using my heart. I get the kind of gist of being a little bit elder castmate. I kind of get the gist of understanding like how we flow into a relationship. So when the opportunity came, I definitely jumped on it.
And how did the opportunity come for you?
So I actually knew one of my friends knew a producer who worked on, I guess, that season before. Maybe I think it was Charlotte or Houston that worked on it. And was just like, I was at a wedding in Hawaii. I was actually in Maui. I got stopped in the wedding and they was just like, oh my God, I love your personality. We want to get to know you. I know a friend who's doing like reality shows. And this was back in 2022.
Oh, wow.
In my mind, I'm at the wedding. I'm like, this is, for not, but I'm just like, yeah, take my number, hit me up if you ever come across anything. And then I think it was 2023 or whenever they kind of started reaching out to people. My friend was like, hey, I think they're going to reach out to you. I was like, who? It was like, Love is Blind. I said, no way. And then when I got that call, I just couldn't believe it. And from that moment on, I was like, it's game time.
When did you get the wedding was in 2022. When did you get the call to actually do the show?
A year or a year and a half later.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Because this was shot last year. Who's dying? Somebody died in the background? Who's dying?
Someone dying outside? Hey, it's probably me, honestly. I live in downtown Denver. Something's always going on outside. I think it's good now.
When did you guys film this season? Last year, right? Or no?
It was like over a year and a half ago, right? So yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were seen at a wedding and it was like, oh yeah, he young, he fine, he handsome, he got to come. Dio, you were reached out through Instagram. Okay, he young, he fine, we got to get him on here. So
ironically, they actually reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Oh.
That's what I saw. That's exactly what I said. I was like, this has to be fake. There's no way this is real. But yeah, that was how they did.
Oh, really? Okay. So explain to me, prior to being on the show, right? You're dating. All right. Now, if you had to pick a celebrity to compare your dating style to, would it be Idris Elba or would it be like Carlton Banks? Like what's you guys' approach when dating?
I'm gonna say I'm more of Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. Working in corporate America, just kind of climbing up the ladder a little bit that way. I always wanted somebody strong. I always wanted a strong woman. And at the same time, I was never afraid of Robin Gibbons, more or less. But I always could see that, those other characters come around. I'm not necessarily saying I was a ladies' man. I just knew ladies as a man.
I was going to ask you about that, because be careful now, Michael.
No. But yeah, Mark is it was just a little bit of that. And I was always really open to love, per se. But I don't think people love like that anymore. I want that 90s love, that back in the day love. My mom and dad met at 13 and 17, and my dad waited until she was of age because my grandmother, they're from the South. Everybody was like, they do not play that.
Yeah,
and he waited, and they married at 18. And my mom, I'm the seventh child. My mom had me at 39. So like,
Oh, wow.
I know great love. I know great love. And I've never seen my mom with another guy besides my dad. So like, for me, I knew it was going to be like, I want the great love, but what we're kind of given now, especially in Denver, with that little hookup culture it is, I already played Division I football. You know what I mean? I was an athlete my whole life. I kind of didn't want that experience no more. So that's kind of led me into the show as well.
What about you, Dio?
Yeah.
And am I saying your name correctly? Is it Dio or is it Deo?
Honestly, the funny part is, I feel like half the people I know call me Deo, half the people call me Dio. It's like both. So I'm like, normally people call me Deo, like typically, but my family will call
What
me
did
Dio.
your mama call you?
She calls me both sometimes, honestly. It depends if I'm in trouble. Depends what I've done.
Okay. Well, what was dating for you? I'm noticing a British British accent, a beans and toast.
Okay, let's not go that far. Okay. Beans and toast.
But what is dating for you? Like, were you dating first in the UK before you came here? Or like, explain that to me.
Yeah, so I was actually in a relationship all through university back in England before I moved out here. So kind of dating apps and things of that nature, never even touched it until I was about to leave to come to America. And then when I did, I moved to Houston for about 3-4 years. And yeah, that was that's when I kind of discovered the whole American dating culture, I guess, hookup culture and kind of all of that. And that was also when I figured out people like British accents. So I was like, oh, okay. there are worse things to have, so I'm not complaining. So that was more of my, kind of after my whole more serious relationship, that was more of where I was, just experimenting, trying different relationships, seeing what worked for me. And then when I moved to Denver, it was more of okay, I'll try and look for something more serious. I've been here for the last 3-4 years. And that was when I was looking for something more serious. And I feel like I've had a lot of short-term relationships-ish. So it's like not exactly there, but it's more of like a working up to that and then it just doesn't work out. So I'm kind of just going from that to another one. So that was honestly one of the more reasons why I just thought this might be a good time for me, because you can actually really get to know someone. You know everything, well, so many things about them that you would never even know in the outside world talking to most people. So I just thought, okay, I'll give that a try. And again, it's not by force. It's okay if it doesn't work out, but I really wanted it to, but it's all good.
So when you guys keep saying hookup culture, what do y'all mean by that? I guess just, I'm not really familiar with Denver, but again, like I said, I was surprised when I saw so many Black people on the gas, because I thought it was a very white place to live. And then when I heard a lot of the cast members, even like your Asian castmates, talking about how difficult it is for them dating or finding people who look like them, like, what do y'all mean by hookup culture?
Well, I just mean typically just, not looking for something as serious, I guess. When you come into it, it might start that way and then it just kind of devolves into, okay, it's just kind of more short-term. It's more of a short-term thing rather than a long-term thing. That's what I meant by it.
Yeah, I'm originally from Boston, and it's a family place. The East Coast for me, for sure, is a family place. When I came to Denver, it was a transplant city. Everybody moved there or was coming there for a short time, but not long term. So then when I was going outside, started realizing there's over 200 rooftops. It's a playground for 35 and up, in my wholehearted opinion. I thought it was amazing. I went out 5 nights a week. But the thing about Denver was beautiful is like they play hard, but they also work hard. And I never really seen that besides like a New York or like a DC or something like that. But Denver, man, it was unbelievable. Like people really, really went out all night, did what they needed to do, but then at the same time, they go to work and go hard. Now, in the sense of making money and getting after it, yes. But the family dynamic, I didn't really see a lot of kids. I didn't really see a lot of people. You ready to come to a wedding? I wasn't invited. I was invited to one wedding in Denver. It wasn't a lot of weddings I was going to. It wasn't a lot of married people that I knew. So when I say hookup culture, I mean like you could easily get into a situationship for a year and a half, and no one have a problem with it.
Dang.
And people just no titles. We're good. We're seeing each other, but you necessarily don't need the title per se to connect with someone there.
What about dating as Black men? Is it hard for you all to meet other Black folks? Are y'all trying to date Black folks, or you don't really have a preference? What is that like?
Yeah, when I first got to Denver, man, the East Side's unbelievable. They have a really, really big Black culture, and they love each other. They have something called Welton Street Cafe. They do a really, really good Juneteenth there. Have a lot of local artists. It's a beautiful, beautiful culture for Black people, and I'm being honest in the sense of you're not left alone. As soon as someone sees you somewhere, they're like, where you from? Do you know you can go get your food here? Do you know we go shopping here? We buy here, we do this. Now, mind you, everybody does everything. Mostly everybody skis. People are going to the mountains. Denver's a beautiful place you need to enjoy. If you've never been, Jessie, please come.
Okay,
You
I've
can
never
enjoy
been.
yourself. Well, no. You can enjoy yourself here big time. But once you get here, you start to realize we're not the dominant culture. The culture is enjoy yourself. That's Denver.
Okay.
It's no like culture per se going like, this is going to be predominantly white, predominantly anything. You don't really feel that. Boulder has its own feel as well, which is kind of like hippies. But at the same time, that means come one, come all. That's what I felt when I first got to Denver. I'm from Boston, to where you could distinguish Black and white easily. You know what I mean? And in the East Coast, they'll let you know, like, you shouldn't be here and you shouldn't go here. You can kind of feel that classness. In Denver, you won't even know the person you're talking to makes $500,000 a year. They'll be like, hey, come here, come grab a drink, come enjoy this. Which is why I'm sad I didn't meet Deo out and about, because we would have connected naturally anyway. So to meet the cast members, it was really, really easy for us to connect, because that's what Denver is. It's a melting pot of connection, but it's not necessarily like you need to grow up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about like when you guys are dating, like what is your preference in women? Like if women are watching this and they're like, I want to know what they looking for. I might be what Dale and Michael are looking for.
I mean, I feel like I'm equal opportunity. So I would really have a specific, okay, this is my type. I need them to be this tall, have this hair color, be this kind of race. I've kind of dated all around. And so it's more of, I'm attracted to the person, honest, genuinely. And I know that's might be a cliche thing to say, but it's an actual thing, rather than just, I need someone to be white, to be Black. It's kind of just, as long as I'm attracted to the person, I'm good.
Okay.
And just for me, if you could just check the tonality, I'll keep it as simple as this. I am ready for love. Straight up, I keep it that simple. It's not necessarily a preference of flavor for me. It's more or less just like, who's open to want to create a better world we're living in, right? Like, we're connecting a lot more. Technology's having fun. AI is doing its thing. But I still think looking eye to eye, having that conversation, being able to truly connect, especially coming from a big family. I'm the baby of 7. My sisters and brothers don't play that about the baby boy. You know, I may be 40 in the eyes of the world, but to them, I'm still that little boy, you know what I'm saying, that they need to protect, that needs that garnishing and that love. So for me, big heart, loyalty, family oriented, God fearing, and that could just mean 1,000 things to 1,000 people. But what it just means is, that somewhere inside, you didn't create all this and it's not coming out of thin air, So for me, that those things are truly, truly, truly those things I value. And just a moral compass. I think sometimes we could be so open to everything that we're into nothing. And I'm just like, no, I want you to know where you're going. I want you to have somewhat of a roadmap. And if you don't, who's your GPS? Who are you listening to? So I just want to make sure, like, the integrity of that person is at the forefront. And more importantly, like, if love's important to you, be able to articulate why, and also be able to articulate how you got where you got. Your past is your past. I would never judge someone for their past. But where are you going? Where are we going? So it's important.
That's good. That's good, Michael. Now I'm even more upset. I didn't get to see y'all's story. I'm getting even more mad that I did not see y'all stories, because this is really, really good and very insightful into, actually, too, listening to you guys speak, I feel like this experiment was the experiment for you, because you two are very, very open. So yeah, I see why you were chosen to do it. So let's talk about getting into Love is Blind. Was the process a long one to get in? Do you feel like you were set up to succeed in the experiment? Were your expectations set accurately?
Honestly, yeah. I would say typically it was more or less what I thought, or kind of what I expected. It was just once you get there, it's very different. There's cameras everywhere, and I am not used to cameras being anywhere around me. So I feel like for the first day or two, I was just kind of maybe a little within myself, because I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. I didn't expect to be here, honestly, at all. So it was definitely an experience. I would say, yeah, they kind of set expectations on the first day or before we started dating. And the actual process was kind of long, because we didn't realize until we were going to go there until maybe a week or two before.
A week or two before, yeah.
Yeah. So it was,
Which is kind of
it
crazy,
was a
because
whole long... Mhm. Yeah, it was a long process, but once we were finally there, it was all good. We met everyone, and yeah, I feel like they set expectations good. I think it was just, it was definitely a process to get there.
I think the process is long, but at the same time, it goes back to the relevance of them vetting the right people. Everybody that I met on the Nets, in my opinion, deserved to be chosen. Everybody is their own amazing, right? But I also think the coaching they did on staff, I think the producers, the way it was, because I was a huge fan of the show. So to go on set, to see how it flowed, the interviews, how they coached you, even after dating. I think the biggest thing they let us kind of know, hey, you're here because you're a little lost out there. And I think that first truth, sitting there, and that of being especially for me being the oldest cast member, being 39 at the time, sitting there and being man, I'm really here because I can't leave coffee dates. I can't get past this. I'm the situationship guy. I think sitting with that truth, and realizing that they do have a really high success rate when it comes to marriage. I saw Love is Blind. I saw a lot of the different seasons in different countries and different places. They want you to fall in love, and they want it to be happily ever after. It's not necessarily just TV, in my opinion. I feel like they are pushing us, necessarily going hey, we're rooting for you. We can't obviously develop you as a human, but at the same time, I feel like as long as the process was, they give us that confidence to know hey, great love's on the other side.
Okay. So what was you guys' mindset going into the pods? So now we're in the pods. We're dating. What is your mindset? And is the pods process as rigorous as it looks on camera to you guys, on the show to you guys, in the real sense of the experience?
I would honestly say it's actually more rigorous than probably you see, because obviously it's all cut down, so you don't see. There's probably hours and hours and hours of footage, because everyone's dating everyone essentially at the start. But then once you get to the end, your dates could be the most of the day, if not the whole day. So obviously they're not going to show all of that. So it's kind of where I look at it now, and I look at past seasons, I'm like, oh yeah, there's probably just hours and hours of footage that just never get shown at all, that no one ever sees kind of on the outside. So it was really interesting going into it, because at first, again, I was kind of more within myself probably for the first day or two, but then once I got more comfortable, it was kind of easier to open up to people that you typically wouldn't have these conversations on the outside, honestly. You just wouldn't. It'll take way longer to talk about kids, your life goals, kind of what you expect in a partner, what you want. You don't really talk about that typically on a first date. So it was, okay, come in. Hey, do you want kids? So I was like, oh, that's not a first date question, but kind of here it is, because these are things you have to know. So it was a lot, but it was also, once you got more comfortable, and for me, once they kind of cut down the amount of people I was talking to, because I think at the start it was a lot, because you can't open yourself up to everyone. That would feel a bit disingenuous to me. So it was more, I'll wait until maybe wait a little bit until the connections kind of lessen a little bit, and then I can actually have like these real deep conversations with different people a lot easier rather than just kind of talking to everyone.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I would say it's rigorous as well. But I'm an athlete, right? I play Division I football, so for me, I realized like the practice makes perfect. So I knew like there was conversations I had to get used to. I think the biggest thing is having the goal being marriage. I was okay with someone asking me the harder questions right away. I was not opposed to someone. My mom passed a few years back in 2020. I knew I was gonna have to talk about that. I didn't want to talk about that. Not only did my mom pass, my dad passed when I was 12. So those are the parts of the story that I just was like,
I'm so sorry.
I have to sit here. Thank you so much. I had to sit here and realize I was an orphan on TV, and that's the part that kind of like rigorous, but at the same time, I was just like, I was trying to like, I wasn't necessarily through the therapy of that part just yet. So to Dale's point, when someone's just like, so what would your mom think about me? And I'm just like,
yeah,
R.I.P. It was the greatest woman I've ever met. And it was just like,
Yeah.
oh man, And then at the same time, we met these amazing women that honestly have good dads, and they had those stories, and not have that aspect of the story. That's the part that made it hard for me, because I knew there was going to be some gaps in my stories, and I was hoping like maybe hopefully those gaps don't keep me away from love, and that's kind of like the part that kind of got me.
Let's talk about your connections. Like, did you guys
Yeah.
make connections? How long were you in the pods? Like, I feel like the editing sometimes is so weird because first, I feel like I hardly saw you, Michael. Like, I would see you in passing. But Dale, there was one scene with you where you said, I think it was Blake left or something like that. And you were like, I don't know if it's a scheme that Blake and Anna came up with to leave at the same time. I don't know what's going on. Like, so can you talk to us about like, how long were you in the pods and what connections did you make? Did you make connections? Did y'all get engaged? And we just didn't get to see it.
Yeah, so I was actually there until the day before proposal day. So I was there for pretty much the entire. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the reaction I get every time, because they're like, "Wait, what?"
And the editing kind of shows that. Because you're still like back there just lurking around, grabbing a sandwich every now and then. I'm like, what's going on? Well, we ain't hearing his story.
Yeah,
So yes,
and
you went there
ironically,
into
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, and ironically, the reason why I was talking about that whole Blake and Anna situation, because I was involved in that situation too. So that was why I was talking about it. And again, that was not shown. So I was just like, that's a bit weird. When I was watching it back, I was kind of like, oh, I guess I'm not in this anymore. Cool. All right. I guess I'll move on. But it was very interesting to watch back, honestly.
What do you mean you was in it? Come on, Dio, what's going on? What you mean you was in it?
Well, no, as in we were dating basically until she left. So so that's why when she left, and when I was talking about Blake and when he left, I was kind of involved as well. So that's why I was actually talking about it at first. But people were like, oh, you're just like gossiping. I was like, no, I was there. I was actually there.
So she was not just in a triangle. She was like in a quad. What you call that? You the
Honestly, yeah. There was in this season. I feel like there were pentagons, there were hexagons, there was everything going on. Honestly, they just cut out most of the kind of extra people talking. But yeah, everyone was pretty much dating everyone at some point, and then there was just so much going on.
So was Anna your top connection?
She was in my top two. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who was your
she
other?
wasn't my Megan H. Megs. She wasn't shown either, but I went with her till the end, to the day before proposal day.
Okay, and what had happened? So we know Anna left, and then what happened with Megan?
I think I was just kind of going back and forth the night before. I guess the day before proposal day, so 2 days before. I was kind of going back and forth, just thinking I can see it, but I don't want to be disingenuous. If I'm not 100% or close to that I don't want to just propose and just kind of do it. So I also didn't want to wait until the last day. So I also just kind of took a step back. I slept on it. And then when I woke up that day, that was actually the day they were looking at rings. So I thought, I'm probably going home today. That was when it came. And then we kind of had a conversation. And then that's the day before proposal. That's when I went home because we kind of talked about it. And I was like, I probably won't be proposing today. So I think we should just kind of leave it here rather than just wait another day and just be there on the last day. Because she's also a great person. She was really good to talk to. So I was like, this is when you start caring about people and you're just like, I don't really want you to go through that either. So if that means I'm not on the show or whatever, I don't really care, to be honest. That's fine. I'll deal with that later. But that was kind of where my head was at during those last couple of days.
Wow. And just a quick question before I get your take, Michael. The whole ring thing, do y'all select the rings? Do they let you select the rings? Like, what's the ring choosing process like?
Yeah, so I left before.
Tell you what kind of ring they want?
Yeah, so I left before they actually like picked, but from what I saw, the girls they kind of talked about it before. They got like size and everything, and then they kind of talked about designs they like. And I guess they had a selection of rings you could choose. So we didn't have to like buy or anything. They just brought it around and you can kind of pick one from what I know.
Okay. So Michael, who were your connections? What did we not see with you? Dial was in a whole hectagon.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy because I was there for a big majority of the time as well. But I had my top two connections were two of the people that got engaged, Annie and KB. So from what I know and going through this, me and KB really was doing it right. We were doing it right. We really was. And I think, I will put that on me. I think I would put it on me for kind of, cause I was actually hit with that question that she asked, Edmond, I forget which episode it was, but she was like, what would you do if somebody came up to me and grabbed me? You know, I was hit with that question too. And and she was an athlete. I was an athlete as well. So it was crazy. KD is unbelievable. And, what you see is what you get. She's honest and she's raw.
Why was my sister looking for y'all to beat up an invisible man in the club? Like, what was going on?
Listen.
I'm sorry, wait. I'm sorry. Because even when she asked Edmund that question, when I was reviewing it, I'm like, why is she asking this man if he gonna beat up this invisible guy in the club? So what was your answer? I need to know what was your answer.
I'm not gonna hold you. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I'm from like a place in Massachusetts, you know, the part of Boston, Dorchester I grew up. It's pretty authentic, it's pretty real. So in my mind, I think my initial response was obviously protection first, and then I mostly went to, if your ex is coming up to us in the club, is there still communication going on? Why is this comfortability there? I think I wanted to hold us both accountable because I think the biggest thing is I come from a background and I come from a place to where a lot of people die over dumb things. And I think that's what Edmund was leading to as well. He was leading to like, we should not do black on black anything. We should not do it. Like, we shouldn't be in violence at all. And that's the kind of approach that I was necessarily taking too. Obviously my athlete and my spirit animal inside wants to just, you know, like protect, you know, but in that moment, I also want to be like, what did you do to kind of bring this upon yourself? Not necessarily in a sense of why is everybody so comfortable, you know, and once again, back to that hookup culture, that hookup culture, you're starting to realize there's a lot of people texting a lot of people. So I don't necessarily want to be fighting in the club when you just text him that you was coming to this place. You know, so that was more or less my approach to that. So not necessarily. Yeah, I just want to make sure, like, are we all clear on what it is? Because at the same time, if they're all coming here going like, this person's talking, this person, when you live in a situationship world, you realize those things come around. You know, you could be with somebody, you're going to run across somebody. You just got to know how to carry yourself. So for me, I just necessarily know gentlemen first. You know, I'm a big mama's boy. And I want to make sure like I'm not losing my life or losing my opportunity to live my life to protect someone's ego.
That's a word. I read that you're a Cancer. See, one thing about Cancer men, See, I'm a Cancer woman, so I know my Cancer men. Cancer men are gonna have a lot of you're gonna have a lot of reasoning. You're gonna try to dissect the situation a lot before you make a decision. I know you're a Sag Dio, and I know Sag men are very funny, very funny,
occasionally,
very, very, very dry humor, very sarcastic. But going back to you, Michael. Okay, finding out so it was KB and Annie. So my wheels are turning because obviously we've all seen how things turned out with Edmond and KB. What was it about you that you feel didn't work with KB versus her and Edmond?
To be honest with you, if I could, as I play the picture back in my mind, KB and I had a phenomenal connection. But it was really similar to the connection I had with China as well. I had a really, really great connection with China, you know? And me and China, man, like that was the breaking point.
Wait. Oh, this is so good. I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. Me and Dio was like, yo, this is
I know it's my heart.
Both me and Dio was like, wait a minute. Because China, when I saw the list, and I'm pretty sure you got this too, folks are like, Michael, China. China. Just looking at when the cast came out, I was like, oh, those two. So hearing you say KB, I was like, okay. But now that you're saying China, go ahead. I just want to go ahead. Yeah. What happened with China?
That was kind of my caveat. Both, but China, she got that Chi-town, and we speak that same language. We have like, as much as me and KB connected athlete wise, China just on, you getting some good collard greens when you go to the house. You know it. You know, you can feel it. You can just taste it through the wall. And she had that mother feel, and she was grown like me. She wasn't young. She was an adult. So I'm going like, this could really, and she got a little, I call it raspsetto because I got a little raspy voice. She's a little raspy too. So I was like, man, we make a little raspy child, get a little boys to men going on. We really, even off camera, China and I got into we connected big time. She's a beautiful human being.
Okay, so what had happened on the show so you had a connection with China, Annie, KB. So when did you when did everything basically dissipate and you leave the experiment?
So my final day was it was weird because China, the day before I left, I spoke to China, KB, and then I had Shelby, which was another young lady there as well, and then Hillary. So I had those four, they were my top four. And then the next day I was down to one, and it was just me and Shelby. So I kind of like, I lost those connections necessarily. I don't necessarily know if they felt like it wasn't the best.
Were they picking other people? Obviously, did KB pick Edmond over you, so you lost?
Yeah, it had to be. It had to be, which kind of threw me off a little bit too, but it had to be like she, and I saw on a recent podcast that she said that, like, she gets single-minded, and she knew it was Edmond or not, So once she picked Edmond, I think she knew that's where she was gonna lay her eggs. But me and China's downfall, to be honest with you, is probably because of me and Annie. And listen, Annie's a firecracker, man. I know. She was a firecracker on the show. You can't tell, but that voice of hers, and just a little bit of the way she talked about like what she wanted to do with the family and different things like that, it kind of took me there. So that kind of was that first initial like, maybe there's more.
So coming out of the experiment, and both of y'all go to Instagram or to social media and you see who y'all connected with, what was you guys' reactions?
Honestly, I was just surprised I feel like half the people, I didn't know what I was expecting. It was just, I feel like it was just, I wasn't expecting anything in particular, but it was just still different, honestly. Like some people I look at, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a picture of them in my head. I look at Instagram, I'm like, oh, they look completely different. But it wasn't like, honestly, it wasn't even a negative feeling. It was just more of surprised. I was like, you obviously, when you're talking to these people for so long, you have an opinion of kind of what they look like in your head. And then you come out and you're like, oh, I could never have guessed that. I couldn't even slightly guess that. So it was more surprising. But then when we met up with everyone, I felt like it was really good vibes. It was kind of everyone getting to know each other. And even with what happened, I feel like it was still a great group of people, honestly. And it's still definitely glad I did it, and glad that I still talk to like a bunch of people still to this day, and we go out all the time. Or some of them I go out all the time, and others we just, when we catch up, it's always good. But yeah, it was more of just a surprise, honestly.
Did you date anybody post the pause, Dio?
So I didn't really. I definitely talked to Megs when I came out. She was probably the only one I actually like tried to talk to after. But it was more of, if it didn't work there, I didn't want to just kind of pursue it after just for the sake of it. It was more of like we're still friends. We had met up with her like a couple of days ago. We talked, and yeah, it was more of that. And then I was honestly just tired by the end of it, because I was actually sick at the end of it. I don't know what on earth I had caught. There was so many times I saw myself looking back on the couch, and I was like, yeah, it's because I was sick. That was why I was like lying there, and I was barely sleeping. So I was like, okay, if I have to wait like for hours outside of the pods, I might as well just have a nap. My only scenes seemed to be me on the couch sleeping. So I was just like, oh,
you was getting your nap on.
That's why I was like, that's great. Everyone just thinks I went there to nap, so this is good.
So what about you? So Michael, I know you said something, you and China connected. But before we go into your connection with China, was there anybody else that you saw once you came out the pods and you were like, oh wow, I didn't think that that's how they looked. Oh wow, like what was your reaction?
Truthfully, everyone was gorgeous to me when we came out. I didn't really go to their Instagrams. I waited till our meetup, and believe it or not, Dale and I were the first one at the meetup, which is pretty different.
Ironically.
Really?
Yes. When I saw everybody in person, I was really stunned. I thought they did amazing with the casting. Kaylin was gorgeous as well. Kaylin threw me off because she seemed like like she was more of a mountain person inside the pods, and just in things she wanted to do, travel. She was like, she kind of like was more woodsy. And I'm from the city. I'm a city boy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it starts to go on the woodsy and all that. I was just like, okay. But to see her in person, she was definitely a vision as well. But I think the prettiest person I would say is China by far. China was gorgeous.
China's gorgeous. I'm really mad we didn't get to see China. So you and China connected afterwards. How was that?
It was good. I think for me, I messed it up because I promise you, much like people tell you about this reality stuff, when you come back to reality, not that you go through a depression, but you almost like you go through this thing to where you're like settling down the ship again, going like, is this life? I just came from something where I dated 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? I just met a bunch of people I don't know. I literally just found out I was going on this a week before I went. You know what I mean? I'm expecting to get married. So when I came back and tried to take the cloak off, I think I was not ready to marry her, which made me not want to date her, because that was the experiment. The experiment was like, we're dating to get married. So once we came back to the real life, I was just like, I don't want to just get married right now. Or maybe this isn't a good time to date. And that's just kind of the approach I took. Yeah, I messed it up for sure. It was 100% me. It was 100% me. There's a little bit more to that story, but yeah, it's 100% me.
So y'all couldn't just keep seeing each other? What's going on?
I'm not saying we didn't.
Michael, no.
I'm not saying we didn't.
Wait, no. So what's going on? So why y'all couldn't just keep seeing each other? What's going on?
I will say this. I think I wanted my cake and eat it too. I think I wanted a little bit more coming back home. Yeah, I think I wanted a little bit more. Yeah, yeah.
Well, at least you honest.
I had to be.
My God. Well, speaking of honesty, I want to go back to your connection with KB and KB being with Edmond. You know, Edmond's behavior has been a big focal point this season. And with a lot of viewers, even like me, just being very mindful with the fact that there is a chance that his behavioral pattern was somewhat exploited on the show. Can you guys kind of give us an insight on what it was like actually spending time with Edmond, and if what we're seeing on television, if it's accurate?
No, I would say it's honestly, it is accurate. He is kind of just, he's very like loud. You'll basically know he's in the room, essentially, most times. Like before some dates, I know some girls mentioned, yeah, there was some guy like yelling when I came to the pods. I was like, oh, that's Edmond. Like he would just start yelling outside because he's so excited and he's just really like taking the whole situation. But yeah, I can see why some people say that, I guess, based on what they kind of did decide to show, because they could have honestly cut some of it out. Maybe they didn't really have to. But I would say he's a really genuine person, honestly, and he is actually, that's kind of how he is. So I can't be like, oh, he acted a certain way on camera or he did certain things. I think he would do that like today, like especially with like being a big personality, just in any room he's in. I think that's kind of just how he is. It was entertaining. There was always something going on, to be honest. And we laughed so much. They didn't show like a lot of the camaraderie between all the guys in the Comment Lounge at all, honestly. They didn't show much of that.
I was going to ask that too. I was going to ask, like, how was it just being in the men's lounge, period? Did you build, a brotherhood with the other men on the show? I feel like, yeah, like you just said, it wasn't really shown.
Yeah, that was one of the things where I was watching it back. I was just like, wow, they didn't really show any of that because we were all having such long form conversations. I guess some people may have played their cards close to their chest, just to not like outright say who they were dating, I guess. But I think that's fine. You don't really have to. But I think generally, when we all came together, it was always a pretty good time. We were laughing in there. There was so much going on. So I enjoyed that part, honestly, a lot of it. They just didn't really showcase that during the actual recording of what they decided to play.
Mm.
Yeah, and Jessie, I'll say this, and I've wanted to say this. Edmond might be one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. And the reason why I'm saying that is that personality type is not usually coming from a Black man. It's usually like, we got to be tough. We have to protect. Most of us don't have dads, so we're protecting our moms and our sisters, our nieces, He was able to be beautiful, and every single day with him, you start to almost take off of your world, because you start to realize, like, man, what does my beautiful look like if his looks like that? What does my beautiful look like? So when I met him, it made me tap more into me, because I'm going like, I know there's more in me and I'm probably trying to be too cool. So to see him be that unapologetic Edmond every single day, biggest heart, most love, didn't change when we got back. The service that he does rollerblading, he doesn't only rollerblade, he's in that community almost as the biggest advocate. Not saying that you need to buy cooler blades. His advocacy is we. His advocacy is always together. So when he was screaming in the pods, when he was at the hotel with us, it was one of those things that you started to realize it had nothing to do with Love is Blind. He literally is love. And I know the world's taking it the way they are. And I'm happy that our young Black children get to see him, because they don't need to kill that part of them if that's a part of him as well. That's my boy, man. It's my boy.
I truly appreciate the way you all are speaking about him. I think that, just even me, I mean, I know he's in this experience and it's a dating experience, but, his life story is something that needs to be handled with care. And I think that his personality is a result of his life story. But like you said, we don't get to see this type of personality a lot when it comes to a Black man that is crying, or a Black man that is sometimes just losing themselves in that moment, but able to, okay, realize and apologize. Like I just feel like we don't get to see those very layered personalities from Black men on television, especially in dating shows. What do you guys think just overall about the portrayal of Black men in dating shows? And, how is that portrayal relative to your experience on this particular show?
Yeah, it's weird because typically I've watched most of the seasons, and I guess historically they might have not have shown like the Black cast in the best light. And honestly, I can't really say they portrayed me in.
Jesse, can you please re-ask him the question and add an accent as well? Because we all don't have his beautiful accent. Look, yes, he's in the Black experience. He's in the Black experience with the accent.
What say you of?
Oh dear.
What
It's
say
not fair.
you?
This is a different.
What say you of the Black experience or the Black portrayal of Black men? Because here's the thing too, right? I've covered Love is Blind from its beginning, and every season I feel like the portrayal of Black men has been very problematic. Very problematic. And then this season we have Edmond, where I'm so happy of the way you guys spoke about him, because it confirms what my feelings have been, that there are just a lot of moments that were shown to tell a certain story. And I'm not saying he's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I do feel that we need to do a better job, not just with the portrayal of Black women, which I stand for all the time, but also the portrayal of Black men. And so having you both here, and it's just kind of ironic because like y'all's stories weren't really portrayed. So how do you feel about the one story of the Black man that was portrayed, and how that possibly took away from a more balanced portrayal of Black men during your season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would say, I guess, yeah, as I said before, historically, it's not been, I guess, the best kind of portrayal, because even honestly, in Edmond's case, I remember specifically a time when I remember Nick was going through it and we were kind of all around him and kind of talking to him kind of through the situation he was going through. And then Edmond was kind of the outlier where he gave different advice pretty much everyone else, but then that really helped, I guess, Nick in that moment. So that would have been also nice to see as a balance compared to like the loud personality. There's like, okay, there's that, but there's also that other side where it's like, okay, I can give great advice. I can help my friends. And it would be nice to kind of see a more, I guess, wholesome kind of view of everything. Sometimes I do feel that just watching kind of historical seasons, because going through it now, I know there were so many things that probably happened that we did not see at all. So it's like, you could add some of that to the other way they portray people. And I thought you'd get a more balanced view of kind of how people are in this experiment, especially Black people.
Yeah.
I would say the character. I would say that most of the times with TV in general, they try to get us into a character or a character base where it's like, this person's this person's that. I've watched the show since inception as well. I feel like they've done good with some of those things. I was really, really hoping after meeting Dale, after meeting myself, that balance with us three with Edmond would just flourish, because it makes sense with all of our personalities. It really does. Just having his by itself and being an outlier, he's going to be heavy. He's going to be heavy in general, but I think if you saw Dale's dates, if you saw like that gentleman, if you saw that Barry White smooth talker that Dale is, I think if you saw that, you would get able to get a little bit of that balance, if you saw my little craziness too, I think the balance of us all is what we're asking for, more or less, than a better portrayal. We're just looking for balance. That's all. It's just give it, because the one thing about it is like, to have one Black man is amazing, but it's like, now he's a representation of everything. And it's like, without the balance, without even more, even if you got me and Dale talking more inside the room or things like that, you would have got the balance of going like, I could tell where he's from. You know, is it this part? I think what made Black Denver a little bit uneasy was they were just like, well, where's that at? Like, I want a connection to more of us, not just one of us. And I think that's the only thing I would just portray just in TV in general. Where the gangster role, we get it. We get it. You know what I mean? But he was one of the smartest men I've ever met. And I wanted that to be shown more. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a lot more sensitive than most Black men. And that wasn't shown either. So it's just so much more aspects of us that I wanted to be portrayed just to balance out the people looking on going, if you could look at everything else, you can get a nice aspect of what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that. And I want to make sure, like, I think Edmond is a great front man, and this season was his season, and I appreciate it, and I'm happy for him. I think the balance of all of us added on to that, we would have been great pillars to hold him up even higher.
I agree. I agree. And hopefully we get that next time. So you're out of the pods and you're back in the real world. And you said something that's very true, Michael, because I did one season of a reality show and you said something that I've never really spoke on, which is transitioning from being in the show and filming and then like going back into the real world. You kind of do feel like God smacked in a way. Like, and mine wasn't it wasn't a dating show, but still, it's like you have all these interactions with these people that was kind of, well, forced, basically. And then now you're back in the real world and it's kind of like, okay, you kind of feel like a fish out of water. What was it like getting back into dating after Love is Blind for the both of you?
Yeah, honestly, I definitely took a second because honestly, when I left, it was very draining. I'd never talked about myself this much a day in my life. I was like, I don't even want to talk. I don't want to date. I just want to, like, I went back to Houston to see my family actually for a little bit. I had some good jollof rice that fixed me up really good, of course. My mom does make the best jollof rice.
Some egusi.
Yeah, I will say that. But yeah, so I guess at first it was more of okay, I need to kind of be with myself for a little bit, kind of decompress and take in everything that happened. And then, yeah, it was really weird going back to dating because I was like, oh, now I'm on a first date again. What this is? What do I say? What do I do? But it was, yeah, I did, I guess, meet a couple people after. So that was, I guess, a good and not so great experience after that. So it was more of, okay, I'm back in the real world. Let me try and take some of the stuff. Let me take some of the stuff I learned going through the whole experience, questions to ask, kind of mindsets you want to know, kind of just that feeling you get. I tried to take everything I learned and put it into like practice essentially. So it was definitely a little bit weird at first, but I feel like it got a little better. And I'm just like dating right now. There's no wives. There's no wives yet, but unfortunately, sorry, Mom. There's no wife yet, but but I feel like it's.
I know your mama was like, what? Did your mama, was she disappointed that you didn't come back engaged at the very least? Like, where's my daughter? Where's my?
Oh no, they were happy as hell. Yeah, they did. Honestly, they didn't want me to do it. We're like private people. They were like, "You're doing what?" She was like, "Pardon." But I think once they watched it back, they were like, okay, you didn't say anything crazy. We're still okay. Your name's still intact. So I feel like they were okay. And yeah, so I think it was, they were okay with me not coming back engaged, I think.
Okay. One thing about African parents, they do not like being perceived. They do not want to be perceived, honey.
There we go.
That's that. What about you, Mike?
Man, honestly, like from the heart, I was brokenhearted. I'm one of those people like, love is blind. I really believe that. Going through the experience, it really, I fell in love with some people through a wall. It's a real thing. So to come back, I felt like I got divorced. That's how I felt. I felt like I was going through a divorce. I'm going like, because when you date and you're talking to these people and what we're talking about, the depth of it, You don't talk about what Dale said earlier. You're talking about this month 4 or 5 in the real world while you're on vacation with the person. We were going through some of those things within the first few days. So for me being like a heart guy, my heart was wide open. And imagine like opening the doors to your amusement park and now you're realizing no one's going to ride a ride. And I was like, there's so many rides.
Now, hold on, Mike. That could be taken a few different ways now, Mike. Hold on. Hold on.
Clarify.
Jesse, that's why we appreciate you. That's why we appreciate you.
Clarify that. I can see the girls in the comments already. What ride? Oh, he wants somebody to ride his ride? What's the hype? What is the hype requirement? Hold on. No, but seriously though, I get what you're saying, because it's kind of like, dang, I had all this hope and now I gotta go back to the streets. Like
you're right. You're building a world, right? Like, we know you got chosen for the show. You're building this world. You're going through this. You have dating coaches. The people on the show are amazing already. So you're going like, I'm crafting my GPS. Yeah. And now you want me to throw it away? So now where am I going? I completely felt lost for like a year. Like lost. Like, and then when you have to go pick up the old book to text people and they don't even know, you can't say what happened. So no one's even know you went through this. So now you're like picking up the old book. How you? What you on this weekend?
What you got going on?
You're back to that after you've like passed the class already. It's almost like I felt like I was going backwards in it. It really shattered me for a while. Like, I know I'm making light of it, but it shattered me for a while. Definitely went to therapy for sure. But like, I'm still putting it back together, to be really honest with you. With the show coming out, it's awesome. But I'm still like healing from that break, that fracture, for sure. For sure. It's marriage. No one in my family, the black men I know where I'm from, they're not married. People I know are not married. No black men in my family are married. Yeah, like no athletes I really knew grown. Nobody's married. We have multiple women. We're situationship people. We're, like I said, Marcus from Boomerang. You know, we're working on success, looking good, and making sure we're making our moms proud, especially not growing up with a dad. That was my MO. So now I'm going, as a black man, I finally get a chance to get in this lane of marriage, like finally, and no. And now go back home. It killed me.
What do you both think? What are some things maybe need to take place in the dating world to change that for black men? To have more black men be focused on marriage, focused on having families, focused on being present fathers, focused on being providers, focused on being healthy mentally so that they can have healthy relationships, long-lasting marriages. What do you guys think needs to happen to facilitate that?
I feel like it's not something that just needs to happen like in the world. I think it's more of a personal thing. I think people need to see kind of better examples of that in their own lives. Because like me, for myself, I've seen my parents, they're married since I was born, like married forever. That's kind of the experience I've seen. So that's kind of what I've seen that. So I'm like, okay, I want something similar to that. I want that long lasting relationship. They basically do everything together. So it's like you see it, so you're more likely to kind of want to replicate it rather than just seeing some random person on TV or reading a book about something. I think it's more actual examples in people's lives rather than anything else, honestly.
What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think you're doing it now, which is just telling the story, right? And giving an avenue to the audience to get a different view, right? They said the view from the mountaintops, you can get there by going 1,000 different roads. This is just another road. I do wish that on the show he was able to see a little bit more of that as well, because you could have got it then. It would have been on Netflix. You would have been able to see it. Episode 3, this is what Michael's going through. Episode 4, this is how who cares if you got married or not? what makes Deo find love? You know, how is Mike configuring love? And I think for me, that example is huge. I mainly want to be married, so my nephews will stay players forever. I have like 21 nephews. I want to make sure that they have an aspect or a view, you know what I mean? Because if I'm not necessarily going to make better human beings, I don't necessarily know how people's lives are going to line up, and that all be as may. But now my focus is, which is I have a company called Live Learning Inside Value. I'm an empowerment coach. That's my whole MO, you know, learning inside you and giving that value from the inside. And so now you don't got to worry about it. That's my mission. That's my mission to make sure it happens, you know, to make sure that whether you're a cool kid, you know what I mean? Whether you're vibrant like Edmond, whether you're a Barry White Jr. like Dale, you know what I mean? Like with an accent, you know, you need the examples, but more than the example, we need the story. We need the story. So those stories are going to be told. You know, I do like speaking engagements. I have a website called Learning Inside Value. I don't know if you know, you see this shirt, Great Love Takes Great Risk. That's from the show. You know, I need to get your address so I can send you yours.
Period.
But we just need to get the message of love out there, but love from us, not cool, not gangster from us, but love. And that's why Edmond being the cheerleader and the mascot this season, it's perfect because we got the eyes. Now we got to do the rest.
I love that. I want to thank both of you for taking the time to talk to me about your experiences on Love is Blind. I think that this was more than insightful. More than insightful. I'm so honored that you guys even trusted me with your story. Tell us how we support both of y'all. What do you like? If you have anything that you're working on that you guys want us to support, please feel free to say it right now. And I'll make sure that I have it all on the screen and in the description box for everybody as well.
Well, I'll go first since all I'm doing is working right now. So I haven't got much going on. So I'm like, Michael could take my spot. He can have both spaces. And I'm just out here trying to make it, trying to do my thing. So yeah, probably go back to work after this.
Tell people the Instagram. Tell people where they can follow you.
Oh yeah, Instagram, Deo, three A's YO. I'm there. I sometimes post, sometimes don't. I'm usually doing something. I'm mostly traveling a lot, kind of just trying to explore the world. Went to so many countries in the last couple of years, so they'll probably see that and food. If you're interested in that, you should follow.
Okay, good. They don't say, hey, listen, I'm at work and I'm traveling, period.
There we go.
What's up with you, Michael?
Yeah, so my company, Live Learning Inside Value. You could go to learninginsidevalue.com right now. You can book me for a consultation. I do live coaching, speaking engagements. My goal is to get this voice of love all over the world. You know, book me now. Book me now. This is what we do. Empowerment coaching, it consists of confidence, loving yourself, and performance. Let's get you moving. I don't necessarily just want you to get the lesson. We got to apply. Application and separation is going to be that preparation. So that's my goal. That's the dream that we're living through. And we got these shirts now too. Great love takes great risk. We're empowering people to not be afraid to go deeper, to go deeper. Yes, we still could be cool. Yes, we could still, you know what I mean? We're culture just with our skin and melanin alone. We bring that to the table, you know? But right now, there's some work we need to do on the inside. There's a lot of people going through mental health. There's a lot of people hurting. Let's have the conversation. Let's dive into it. Let's figure it out together. So
good. And where do we follow you on socials?
Oh yes, it's Michael Neal, MICHAELNEAL _empower on Instagram. Please follow me. Post daily. I do inspirational videos daily. You could call me like a little baby Jessie Woo, you know, like I'm getting it cooking. No, Jessie, seriously, like what you do for us, like in the community, in the world, like you're big because God knows your message needs to be heard. So once again, we are super honored that you even happen to choose us out of the cast. There's a lot of amazing people you could have chose. Deo and I, we're honored. We're super honored. So we're just gonna keep this going. And you should, if I do a podcast, you need to be on my podcast too.
Hey, you got my info. You got my info. I have no problem supporting you. And again, thank you so much for being here. Y'all, thank you so much for listening and watching to this episode of Just a Couple Things. Make sure that you're following Just a Couple Things on every platform that streams podcasts. Make sure that you support these two Black kings. Deo, Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Take care of yourselves. And those of you watching, make sure to take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you next time. Bye.